On his first day as a janitor at a mental hospital, he noticed a barefoot girl standing nearby. She looked quiet, almost innocent, but before he could talk to her, a nurse told him the truth. She was a patient. Disappointed, he turned and walked away. He never imagined this barefoot girl would change his life. That same night, Jack was walking through the hospital hallway when he suddenly heard a cry for help coming from one of the rooms. Without hesitation, he rushed inside and froze at what he saw. A male orderly was harassing the barefoot girl. Jack immediately stepped forward, pulled the man away, and drove him out of the room. The girl looked at him with gratitude and said,
"You're the mopping man."
"Yeah, I'm Jay."
Jack patiently taught her how to protect herself if something like this ever happened again. After her emotions finally settled, Jack chose to leave, but what he didn't expect was that the moment he walked away, she slipped out after him. The girl secretly followed him out of the hospital. Jack suddenly sensed someone behind him and turned around.
"What are you doing?"
"I'm coming with you.
"What? No, you can't leave your patient."
I don't like it here."
Her words were calm, clear, and logical. Nothing about the way she spoke sounded unstable at all. Jack looked around carefully and pulled her into a quiet corner. Unable to help himself, he asked why she never wore shoes. Daisy answered honestly, wearing shoes hurt her feet. Jack let out a sigh, thinking she really did seem seriously ill. He gestured for her to return to her ward, but before he could finish speaking, Daisy's breathing suddenly became rapid and shallow. With no other choice, Jack stayed and slowly calmed her down. Only after she regained her composure did Jack reach into his wallet. He handed her several bills and told her to take a cab home. But after walking just a few steps, he sensed she was still following him. Daisy stood there alone, helpless, frozen in place. Her eyes were pure and untouched, as if she didn't belong to this world at all. Seeing this, Jack couldn't bring himself to walk away. He decided to take her home himself, only to realize she knew nothing about her family. As he looked at her innocent face, a sudden idea crossed his mind. Before becoming a janitor, Jack had been a classic trust fund kid, with his father's vast fortune behind him. He lived a reckless, indulgent life. The women around him changed as quickly as the seasons. Eventually, his father lost all patience and froze every one of Jack's credit cards. Instead of reflecting on his behavior, Jack turned to loan sharks for money. He even got into a physical fight with debt collectors. In the end, everyone involved was taken to the police station for mediation. As part of his probation, Jack was ordered to work as a janitor at the hospital. Not long after, a phone call from his father brought a possible turning point. Jack's younger brother was getting married, and Jack saw an opportunity. He hoped to get a large sum of money from his father to pay off his debts, but his father made one condition clear. Jack had to bring a girlfriend to the wedding. He wanted proof that Jack had finally become mature and responsible. To regain his father's trust, Jack desperately needed someone to play the role, and Daisy appeared at exactly the right moment. So Jack decided to have Daisy pose as his girlfriend. For the wedding, they set off together, but things quickly began to spiral out of control. On the plane, Daisy locked herself in the restroom and refused to come out. Jack rushed to the door, only to realize she simply couldn't find the flush button. With Jack's patient guidance, Daisy finally managed to step out, but the calm didn't last long. Soon, a flight attendant woke Jack up again. Daisy had accidentally taken someone else's seat and eaten their entire meal. The attendant cautiously asked whether Daisy might be mentally unwell. Even though Daisy kept causing trouble, Jack instinctively stepped in to defend her. Daisy wasn't upset at all. Instead, she asked excitedly,
"Am I really your girlfriend?"
Yeah, you're my girlfriend."
Jack replied half-heartedly. Daisy was secretly overjoyed. Her mother had once told her that someone like her could never be loved. What Jack didn't know was that this innocent girl was hiding a shocking secret. When they arrived at Jack's palatial home, Daisy was completely stunned by the luxury. Jack introduced her to his mother, who immediately noticed her bare feet. Jack quickly lied, saying Daisy was exhausted from the flight and needed rest. His mother seemed pleased, because Daisy was nothing like Jack's past flings. Even his father appeared satisfied at first, especially after hearing Jack claim Daisy was a nurse. To his father, that meant Jack was finally back on the right path. As guests arrived, Daisy observed everything with childlike curiosity. She took a sip of champagne and said,
"Oh my God, that's like drinking perfume."
She spoke whatever came to her mind, without any social filter. When foie gras was served, she said she didn't like it because it smelled like cat food. The guests were stunned, and the atmosphere instantly turned awkward. When someone asked about Jack's work, he claimed he was investing in a hospital project, but his father cut straight to the point, asking whether he was only there for money. Jack insisted he came only for his brother's wedding. As the tension thickened, Daisy suddenly spoke up.
"He actually does have a plan, Jason, and it's a very good one. We just can't talk about it right now."
Jack looked at her differently in that moment, realizing she had stood up for him when it mattered most. He couldn't understand how someone so perceptive could be labeled mentally ill. The next morning, Jack's mother woke him up and said Daisy was cleaning the bathroom. Jack rushed in and found her wearing her hospital uniform, scrubbing the sink until it sparkled. Daisy explained that back home, she had to do chores to earn love. A deep ache filled Jack's chest. He told her she didn't need to do anything in this house, but then Daisy said something that froze him in place.
"My mother is dead because I killed her."
A chill ran down Jack's spine. He couldn't reconcile those words with her gentle nature. At the wedding, Daisy looked elegant and radiant in a flowing gown. For a brief moment, she looked nothing like a psychiatric patient. Then, the very next second, she tripped and fell, reminding everyone she was still the same Daisy. Jack's father promised him money after the wedding, believing he had truly changed. But then Daisy began picking up fallen flower petals and returning them to the flower girl. The guests exchanged confused looks, and Jack's parents started to sense something was wrong. During a dance, Jack's father pressed Daisy with sharp, relentless questions. Overwhelmed, Daisy suffered a panic attack and collapsed. Jack rushed forward and carried her outside. His father followed, demanding answers. At last, Jack confessed everything: the janitor job, the probation, and Daisy's condition. His father turned away, utterly disappointed. Later, Daisy tried to return a necklace to Jack's mother, but his mother told her to keep it. That moment sparked a fierce argument between Jack's parents in front of everyone. Daisy finally broke down. She handed the necklace back and ran off in tears. Jack grabbed her hand, and they left the wedding behind without looking back. He chose not to return to the hospital. Instead, he chose to run. They secretly took his father's vintage RV and drove away together. To Daisy, this escape felt like a romantic dream come true, but Jack felt restless. Slowly, he began to see Daisy as a burden. He drove her to a station, handed her some cash, and said he needed to make a phone call. Daisy understood what was happening, but she chose to wait anyway. From daylight to nightfall, hours passed. Jack never came back. When a staff member asked why she wasn't wearing shoes, Daisy realized they were still inside the RV. Back at the RV, Jack found her old canvas shoes. A wave of guilt crashed over him. In that moment, he realized he had lost something far more important than his reputation. At the service desk, Daisy stood sobbing, helpless, with nowhere to go. Just then, Jack appeared behind her.
No more phone calls?
No more phone calls.
From that moment on, they continued their journey together. They traveled like a couple on their honeymoon. They walked hand in hand at sunset. They shopped together at supermarkets. No matter how much trouble Daisy caused, Jack never blamed her again. One night, Daisy finally opened up about her past. She told him her mother never allowed her to go to school or even leave the house. Her only connection to the outside world had been the television. Then, she revealed a secret powerful enough to change Jack's entire life. Want to know what happens next? Follow me, and I'll be updating the rest of the story very soon.